are Kayleen and
Paul
Sanchez, and we are Farsong. And today we are going to talk a little bit more about the Mysteria Fidei project and how that came to be.
Yes, so if we go back way to the beginning of the story, this would have been 2013. That's crazy. I can't believe how long ago that was. Yeah, so 2013, this composer David M. Gordon asked Kayleen and I if we would do a song setting of his called Father Stilla Vora Andar, which is kind of cool because
Swedish.
New music, which is something we really enjoy doing. And Kayleen is a total
language nerd.
Took the words out of my mouth, literally exactly what I was going to say. She loves doing complicated things with new languages, new to her languages, I should say.
Yes.
So this was kind of right up our alley, and we decided to do it for this concert. It was a beautiful piece. About 6 or 7 minutes long, depending on our tempo of the day.
Had some funky rhythms in it, but you know.
David is really a fan of complicated cross-rhythmic stuff. So, for example, there's a lot of layering of different rhythms. So in Father Stilla Vora Andar, this song, there are moments where the piano has maybe 3 against 4, and then the singer is doing quintuplets over that. So you've got layering of 3 versus 4 versus 5 simultaneously, and he loves that effect. And he really wants it to be precise. We didn't know this, of course, at the time. This was our first experience with his music. But
I remember it being a bit of a challenge. The very first time that we tried to do that together, I was like, I don't know how to fit 4 into 3. Singer math. Oh my gosh. But the piece is just gorgeous. And we really, really have fallen in love with it and performed it many times since then. But
yeah, so we did this concert, and David really liked it, and he sent us a very sweet email and just said how much he enjoyed it, and actually ended up saying, hey, what would you guys think about a new piece, and doing a new piece? And we're like, sure.
Awesome.
Cool. So, we were kind of expecting something along the lines of
what we had already done.
Yeah, the song setting we done. Well, about a year later, was it a year later?
It was a while.
Yeah, we gotta. Well, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. We had some interesting conversations in the interim. One of which was a call to Kayleen saying, "Hey, what other instruments can you play?"
And I told him that I actually started off on piano before I was ever a singer.
Yeah.
And in high school, I played percussion.
Right. So that was interesting. We were kind of wondering what was up with that. And then there was another call from David like, hey, Kayleen, how high can you sing?
And I had to clarify, like, okay, do you mean how high do I warm up? Or how high do I actually want to be singing in performance? Because those are 2 different pitches. I mean, come on, you don't actually want to be that high, I don't think, in live performance, because that's a little scary.
Right, so some mysterious questions along the way, but long story short, about a year later, we ended up getting this score in an email, and it's this 42-minute monstrosity of a song cycle called
In
Syriac. The title is Mysteria Incarnationes, so Mysteries of the Incarnation, setting text by Ephraim the Syrian. These are 4th century texts dealing with the Nativity, and pretty interesting looking score, actually, involving a lot of instruments. So first of all, there's there's another performer involved. There's a violinist who also plays auto harp. And then the soprano does...
Okay. Toy piano, tie button gongs, finger cymbals, vibratone, and a wine glass.
Yes. Meanwhile, the pianist is playing prepared piano, water globe, and neck brace harmonica. And of course, using a plectrum on the inside of the piano at certain points. So this piece is also interesting in that it uses quarter tones and of course features David's very common, incredibly complicated rhythms and metric modulations and etc. And Kayleen's laughing about the quarter tones because I can tell you that she got a little bit frustrated at times.
Many expletives.
With the quarter tones and learning to sing the quarter tones.
I didn't have an instrument at home where I could play a quarter tone. So I literally, I'd never sung in... Yeah, I had never sung in quarter tones before. So I went to the keyboard, da, 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 and then played both of them.
Trying to land right in the middle.
Kept trying to do that, and I didn't think I would ever be able to do that, but
you got it.
I got it, and David's notation is really precise, and that
Beautiful notation.
It's so beautiful. So that makes it easier. He also helped me out by putting the Syriac in International Phonetic Alphabet, so I was not reading these symbols, but actually got to use a system that I was familiar with.
Yeah. So we got to work with Eka Gogichashvili. She's a wonderful violinist, and she was an amazing collaborator. So we ended up working with her on the premiere performance, and that ended up going pretty well also. So after all this was said and done, this is a few years into this process, I was thinking about it one day, and I said to Kayleen, why don't we record this? You know, this is a massive project. We've done a lot of work on it. It seems like a waste not to get a recording of it. So,
initially, I was like,
yeah, right. It's like easy for you to say. You know? So, long story short, we talked to David about it, and we said, "Hey, what would you think about doing a CD?" And I think he was pretty positive from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about that for a while, and you know, David ended up deciding that it would be best to include another piece as sort of an interim work or an interlude between the Father Stila Vora Andar, which is that very first song that we ever did, and then the big song cycle, the Mysteria Incarnaciones. So he told me he was going to write a piano piece for me that would fit between those other two pieces. And meanwhile, we had set a recording date, and that recording date got canceled a few months beforehand because the venue was going to be renovated. So things got pushed back.
that's right.
Meanwhile, David's writing this piano piece for me, and it was supposed to be a piece for piano. Well, I get the score. It's a piece for two pianos, but one pianist. So I was like, of course, thanks, David. You know, it's not just a normal piano piece, right? It's two pianos, one pianist. The piece is called Consolation New. It's for an upright specifically, and the upright is tuned in a very unique way. It's quarter tonal also, and then a grand piano that's in a standard tuning. And the pianos are set up at a 90-degree angle. I'll show you pictures and everything.
I mean, he totally looks like a piano ninja. Seriously. Like, sitting in the corner with, you know, he can't even really see what's going on with his hands because you can look at one or the other, or you can kind of look ahead and sort of kind of try to see both. But
it was a very interesting learning process, and we actually ended up setting up a keyboard next to our Steinway here so I could practice on the keyboard, and the keyboard allowed me to do the tuning a quarter step down, which was fun.
Part of the fun too.
Fun for Kayleen to listen to for hours
David.
at a time. Yeah. But yeah, you know, the physical challenges of that were pretty unique because, first of all, you know, I'm used to holding my arms this way for hours at a time, just like all pianists are used to. I'm not used to holding my arms this way for hours at a time. So I gained some shoulder strength, I think. And then also what Kayleen mentioned is true, is that you cannot really count on your peripheral vision to see exactly what's going on. And then, of course, David did his typical rhythmic insanity. Consolation New ended up being a pretty big piano work, and we were excited to include that on the album. But that first recording date got pushed back. We set another date, and then something else happened with, I don't remember exactly what it was, a venue or something happened again. So we thought, well, you know, we've got this program ready. We don't want to lose this again.
we're going to do it anyway.
We're just going to do it anyway. So knowing that, we knew what would need to happen is that I would need to
produce and record and play
and edit
and set up all the microphones
Right, so-
and get the venue.
Right, so it was a lot, but we wanted to do it, and we did it, and it all turned out well. Happy ending. Innova is taking the recording. They're going to be publishing it hopefully this fall, is kind of what we're expecting.
So we will update you as soon as that is available.
And also, we're going to be doing an interview with David coming up here pretty soon, and get his perspective on some of the pieces as well.
Yeah,
Anything else?
I think that pretty much wraps it up for today. So hit that red subscribe button, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss whatever is going on. Composer interviews, artist interviews, talking about the pieces that we've worked on, the upcoming projects we have, etc. And we will see you next Friday.
And I think next Friday will probably be behind the scenes for the recording project that we're doing in Missouri, which is going to be music of Graham Lynch. So that's another thing we'll keep you posted on.
Sweet.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.